So, back for some more VGC 19 with Justin Burns' second place Roanoke team. So, it is quite a reasonably common archetype now, but with Dialga over Lunala. So, it is interesting he chose Lunala over Dialga, but I do respect it because Lunala is a lot better than Dialga. Just in general, in my opinion, but I'm going to find someone straight away, which is nice. And, okay. Thunderous Incarnate is not very common anymore, so it is interesting to see that now. Although I do have my Lele, which can block any of its prankster stuff. It is strange that the dominant genie this year is Tornadus, when it's always been Landorus and Thunderous before. I don't particularly want to go my Trick Room route because of his Ferrothorn. So I think I do want to go with my Tailwind route. If I do go with the Tailwind, I need to stop his Thunder Waves, which means I need to lead with my Lele. So, I'm probably going to be leading this a lot, because this seems to make sense to me. Still need to beware of the Toxicroak, but unless his Yveltal has Tailwind of his own, I should be okay. And then I'd bring Kartana or Incineroar, one of them, for the Ferrothorn, but last time I brought Incineroar for Ferrothorn, it wasn't the play, so I'm strongly leaning towards Kartana. Let's go with that. So pretty much, if his Yveltal doesn't have Tailwind, I could be able to spout all over him, which would be ideal. Even if he leads to the Toxicroak, Toxicroak would be an ideal lead for me, really. Yeah, Yveltal and Incineroar, okay. So, like, I do get my Tailwind, but it's gonna be quite a big cost. Though, does Knockoff knock out? Knockoff can knock out Lunala through its Shadow Shield, can't it? So if I did bring my own Incineroar here, over Kartana, it would have been Incineroar and Moonblast, but that cannot happen, unfortunately. But I definitely want to Moonblast this Yveltal. It doesn't knock out Yveltals, or at least it shouldn't. Should do a lot though. But then, there's no Protect on this Lunala, which is an issue, because he can double knockoff here if he has it, and both get rid of my Scarf and stop any of my Tailwinds. I still think I'm going to try. Ah, he withdraws. That's really good for me. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Because Incineroar's knockoff doesn't knock out Lunala. Only Yveltals would have. So I'm fine with this. Because if I'm chunking that Ferrothorn into Water Spout range, I'm absolutely okay with that. Yeah, this won't knock out. Reasonable, but... and he's lefties as well, okay. So I do think I want to still double this Ferrothorn to try and put it into Water Spout range, because the Incineroar isn't an issue at the moment. Because Kyogre can just spout all over that. And he didn't Protect, which is ideal. Because this combination won't knock out, definitely won't knock out, but it will put him into Water Spout range. Oh, clutch special attack drop. So this will be a very nice chunk. And ideally he knocks out my Lunala here. Well, that's absolutely into Water Spout range. Okay, knocked up a Lele, interesting. Because he could have claimed a double knockout. But that's, I didn't get the free switch. That's unfortunate. So that was smart. That was smart of him, because now he's stalling out the Tailwind. I can switch moves with my Lele. That was Moongeist Beam range from Ferrothorn. The Ferrothorn should Protect, because Moongeist Beam can KO him. Like, if I Moonblast and Moongeist Beam the Ferrothorn, it will cover the Yveltal switch, but Protect makes a bit more sense in my opinion at the moment. So I'm going to switch into my Kyogre. I'm going to switch into my Kartana. If he knocks off one of them, it's not the worst thing. If he knocks off Kyogre, it's not ideal at all. But hopefully the Ferrothorn protects here. If he switches into a Voltal, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed I didn't Moonblast and Moongeist Beam. But there we go. No, he did attack. I did knock off the Kyogre, so I switched the wrong way around here. And Jarable into... Okay, is that... That's still reasonable damage, but is that the right way around, like, for me? I don't know. Like, would I have preferred my Mystic Water and no Life Orb? Because the Jarable would have done less damage to the Kyogre. And then I'd have had a stronger Water Spout, so... I don't know. But I am going to Water Spout here for sure. And then it's... What switch-ins did he possibly have for... Only his Kyogre, really. His Toxicroak as well, if he brought his Toxicroak. But I would expect him to have brought his Kyogre instead, because of my double Psychic. So I think that Sacred Sword is just fine into the Ferrothorn. Yeah, like, he's sacrificing his Incineroar here. But he does get the switch back into a Velcro, which is a bit awkward. Because I have lost my Scarf as well. Because I did want to try and avoid getting his Velcro back in during, like, when my Tailwind has gone. Because it's gone here. Now he gets the free switch back in. So, like, I can KO the Ferrothorn, but... Or if he goes into Kyogre here as well. If it's... No, okay. If he was going to go into Kyogre there, it was Scarfed. But that does imply he's not Scarfed. So I could go for Origin Pulse. I want to say that Water Spout is about the same as Origin Pulse at the moment. But then if he attacks the Kyogre, then it's pretty useless. I could Thunder to try and paralyze the Yveltal. I definitely want a Sacred Sword the Ferrothorn. The Thunder Paralysis would be nice, but single target Origin Pulse might knock out the Yveltal. So I'm going to go for Origin Pulse. And I'm going to Sacred Sword again into the Ferrothorn. Okay, so we either keep our Kartana or get an Origin Pulse into the... Or hopefully get an Origin Pulse into the Yveltal. I don't want to speak too soon because Origin Pulse is so bad, but... Let's see. Knockoff probably into Kartana, yep. So going to lose Kartana, but does single target Origin Pulse knock out? Does it even connect? It's Life Orb, it's going to knock out if it connects. Okay. This is good. Very nice, very nice. Because Veltals can survive a Water Spout, but Origin Pulse single target, like, because Water Spout is effectively, what is it? Like, it's reduced to 75. Must be like 107-ish? No, that's not right. Is that right? 107-ish, I think, for Water Spout's actual damage. So then Origin Pulse, single targeted, is just a little bit stronger than that. So with the Life Orb chip, he was definitely going down. But do I go into Lele or Lunala? I think I go into... The Lele's timid, so it outspeeds everything. So Lele is fine. I don't think it'd make much difference. If it's his Kyogre, then it doesn't really matter. I guess I could have gone into Lunala to try and set up Tailwind, so that my Kyogre could definitely Thunder it. Because he can Thunder me, but I think that I'll be able to... Like, even if he's Scarfed, he has to lock into... he is Scarfed, so I don't know why he went into a Velcro instead, because going into Scarf Kyogre would have made a lot more sense, because now I get the Thunder. This is going to reduce the Water Spout damage, so you can't KO me anymore. So I will be able to get 2 Thunders off here, so... I think this game should be locked up. Because that Water Spout, and the paralysis didn't matter, because the Water Spout wasn't knocking out my own Kyogre. It may not even knock out my Lunala here. So... I do kind of want to protect and Tailwind so that I can see how much... How many turns of Rain's left? Because that could be a throw. Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. That would be silly. Go for Side Shock. So I just wanted to see how much it would do to Lunala. Like, yeah, forfeit. But I'd have liked to see if Water Spout would have been able to knock out Lunala so that a Water Spout crit from that range could that have knocked out Kyogre. I still don't think so. But yeah, quite surprised he didn't go into. Given the fact that he was Scarf Kyogre, I don't know why he went into a Velpool over Kyogre, because the Kartana was just in range. So he could have got the Spout off, saved the Ferrothorn, and got the Power Whip into the Kyogre. So quite questionable going into a Velpool there. But we are fine with that. Okay, so we're actually here with a match now. I have cut out the in-between stuff, as you've just seen, because there is such thing as editing magic, so you don't have to sit through 2 full cycles of not finding anyone. So it's an interesting take on the Lunala Kyogre stuff. Like, the Kartana and Koko are pretty standard. Incineroar is standard, but it's trash on this team. I don't know why people are using it on this team. But Serena's an interesting one. So how do I want to go about this? Do I want to match his Lunala? Because the problem is, if I lead my Lunala, he leads Koko Lunala. He Skydrops my Lunala and Tailwinds, and then he can hit the Lunala on the drop, which makes it awkward. So I think I want to go Incineroar Lunala and go Trick Room route. My Kyogre. I'm put off by a Mungus because of the Koko. So I think I'll go Kartana instead. So hopefully we see that Koko Lunala lead. And then we just gotta hope he doesn't roar us. Which he very easily could do. Like, I've roared so many Lunalas with the Koko Lunala lead. That's even if he even has roar. So. A Koko Katana. Does that mean I switch up and go for Tailwind now? I might change to Tailwind now. So if I fake out his... He could have Taunt on his... Like, there's so many things. He could have Taunt on his Koko. He could Sky Drop the Lunala so that he can drop it and knock off with the Kartana next turn. Could match Tailwind with his Kartana. So maybe I do still go Trick Room route. Because if I fake out the Koko instead, I don't think there's anything that the Kartana can do to stop this Trick Room. Yeah, there's knockoff, but that doesn't KO with the Intimidate and through the Shadow. And even without the Shadow Shield, I'd have lived that. So I think Trick Room was the correct way to go. Knockoff does heavily imply Assault Vest, which means that the Flare Blitz target should just KO the Kartana now. But could very easily switch into his own Kyogre. So I'm going to Flare Blitz and Psyshock the Kartana. Because it does cover the switch in... It only doesn't cover the switch into Incineroar. But then I can just U-turn into my Kyogre next turn. And I would be quite surprised if he didn't bring his Kyogre and Lunala, so I'm not expecting an Incineroar switch in. Because when I use this version of, like, this archetype, I want to say, I didn't bring Incineroar at all. Like, yeah, there's Kyogre, not Incineroar, so this is fine. And it is very commonly in Assault Vest, Tapu Koko as well. So I could have got a free shot with the Moongeist Beam, but this is nice, hitting this Kyogre. So it did cover a reasonable amount. Don't know if his Kyogre's faster than my Lunala. I can't remember how fast this Lunala is. I want to say it's not very. But this should still do a reasonable amount of damage to this Kyogre. And this... It's probably a 2-shot without any chip from Incineroar. So... That's not bad. It just depends what's faster between Lunala and Incineroar now. Okay, back into this Kartana. So he's probably baiting my Flare Blitz. Am I okay with him baiting the Flare Blitz? Because he should switch back out into Koko now. But then I don't know, like, I can't remember how fast this Lunala is, but if he's a not very fast Kyogre, then he's going to underspeed my Lunala and get 2 KOs. It still seems obvious. Still seems way too obvious. But Kyogre's usually specs on this team, so hopefully he's the fast specs. No, it wasn't a bait. I thought it should have been a bait, but it should still KO in the sun. In the rain, more like, right? Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm not... like, I felt like that was such a hard bait, and you weren't going to let me fall for it, but who's faster? Yes, I'm faster, and this should KO, unless we get some silly rolls. Nice, nice. Very nice. So yeah, like that was definitely a bait. So why didn't you switch out? Because you thought that I knew it was a bait, and then I was going to U-turn instead? Ah, I saw through your logic. It's always nice to play logic chicken with someone. That's what I call the levels of prediction, and which level you choose. But this is an amazing position now. Yeah, just Electric Seed. Don't know how fast our Lunalas compare against each other. We've got 2 more turns of Trick Room. So I don't know if he has Protect on his Lunala, but Knock Off to break the Shadow Shield. I could U-turn to break the Shadow Shield, but I don't want Kyogre or Kartana to take any unnecessary damage. And I'm going to Psy Shock. Because if he protects with Lunala, the Koko's doing nothing. So I'm fine doubling into this Lunala. I'm just seeing which is going to be faster. Or slower under Trick Room, more like. It looks like he's the faster one, so made the correct double target. Because I don't think you should run Protect on the Koko Lunala builds, like, because I don't think there's space at all for Protect. So we get the double target there, and now his Koko's not. It's Thunderbolt as well. I prefer Wild Charge on my Assault Vest Kokos. I don't think Thunderbolt's worth it, because Wild Charge can OHKO Kyogres and Thunderbolt just doesn't. So gonna try and knock off his Assault Vest and Moongeist beam him now. Still got one more turn of Trick Room. And nice, so Incineroar, Lunala just swept there, which is quite nice, so pretty happy with that. Making up for yesterday's loss, so going 3-1 at the moment. 3-1's pretty reasonable. It felt quite nice beating like the team I'd been using for so long, because I know how it functions now, so that was pretty good, so going to keep this going. Hopefully be back tomorrow with some more Believe in Boyt, so thanks for watching.